All right, everybody, welcome back for the first time to Uranium Fever. This may be the only time I actually introduce you to the series with a welcome. I'm just gonna read verbatim what the development team says about this mod list. They say, Uranium Fever is a complete overhaul of Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, with over 1,400 mods focused on modernizing, expanding, rebalancing, and enhancing all aspects of both wastelands. Designed for a hardcore gameplay experience, Uranium Fever draws significant inspiration from acclaimed survival horror titles like Stalker and Resident Evil. While remaining current with emerging content, every edition is carefully evaluated, customized, and seamlessly integrated with an emphasis on stability, performance, and balance. We consider Uranium Fever to be the most visually impressive, innovative, comprehensive, well-balanced, and cohesive Tale of Two Wasteland experience available. And from what I have played of it, yep, that's pretty accurate as a way to put it. That being said, I have made some changes to the list, all just the optional settings that are included with the download, so it's not like I'm breaking Rule 11 for Wabbajack mod lists. I'm not editing anything, I'm just adding the optionals that are allowed, things like immersive minigames. So instead of doing the lockpick minigame from Fallout or Skyrim, or the new Wordle minigame for hacking that they've used, yeah, we're doing it more Morrowind style, where we just hit a button and the character uses their skill to pick a lock or hack a terminal. I figured it would be more fun and a little more interesting to have to rely on the character's skill. Plus, it also allows you to take a chance on on something that's too high, which is more interesting because there's still a chance you could succeed. So we are going to try that out and see how it goes. I also wanted to thank everyone before we get started. Everyone who's watching the Morrowind series. For the foreseeable future, I'm going to try to alternate between Fallout and Morrowind. That said, this is not the first episode of the Fallout series. This is more of a teaser and kind of an explanation for how the list works, with some reading of some tutorial pop-ups and explanations of certain mods. It's basically just an explanation for why I'll be playing the way that I'm playing, and also showing you what exactly is different about this version of Uranium Fever versus the one that you would get if you just downloaded it and started playing with no changes. And with that, we'll get started. So we'll hit new game. And we get right into a little pop-up and explanation. Welcome to Uranium Fever. Many of your questions will be answered on the website's FAQ or mod features reference list pages. Proceed to the wooden door to begin your journey. After exiting the cave, you'll be prompted to choose your starting wasteland. There is no wrong choice. Not having to worry about that or any of the character creation stuff right now, because what we're going to be doing is, like I said, this is just an explanation and a breakdown. When we start the series proper, we'll be starting it with the Fallout 3 intro. So, starting off as a baby, starting off in the vault, that kind of thing. I promise I'll find ways to make it a little more interesting. I know it's an hour-long ordeal, basically, to deal with. But it does allow for some good characterization and ways to flesh out a person and their backstory. So it says, upon exiting, you will customize the player's appearance, special perks, traits, and tag skills. These choices will impact the progression of the game and the tools available to you, like an RPG. There is no limit on the number of selectable starting traits, as they are all carefully balanced with equivalent benefits and drawbacks. Nearly every special, skill, stat, perk, interaction, weapon, armor, bobblehead, and skill book has been comprehensively rebalanced, altered, or relocated. So again, this is the base Uranium Fever explanation. Important notes. Keybinds may be changed and optional mods may be enabled or disabled, though any modification to the list will void support. Yeah, any other modification will void support. We haven't done anything like that. Third person is useful as a vanity camera, though negatively impacts balance due to animation inconsistencies. Tag skilled, some things to note. Tagged skills receive double skill points rather than the additional bonus. So a tagged skill will stay at its base level when you choose it, but every time you put a point into it, it'll get 2. Strength affects carry weight, melee damage, hip fire accuracy, recoil strength, and knockdown resistance. Perception affects sneak recognition, bullet spread, time dilation in combat, and forced entry bonuses. Endurance affects total health points, health regeneration, radiation poison, and knockdown resist, and addiction chance. Charisma affects the maximum number of companions, combat damage, companion damage and defense, vendor prices, dialogue options, and reputation changes. Intelligence affects skill points gained per level, dialogue options, and forced entry bonuses. Agility affects action points, radiation recovery, swim speed, reload speed, weapon jam recovery, lock picking, and forced entry bonus. Luck affects crit chance, limb healing, scripted event outcomes, minigame success rates, weapon jam rates, bypass tool use, and forced entry bonus. Essential gameplay mechanics. Addiction causes severe withdrawal effects, but recovers over a 3-day period. Doctors or fixer can temporarily suspend addiction effects during recovery time. Healing requires multiple doctor visits, but can also be achieved through resting, sleeping, or using medical supplies. Crippled limbs can be healed through doctor's visits, rest, sleep, or medical items. Companions can die permanently. Their combat behavior can be adjusted to prioritize survival. Ensure they are equipped with weapons, ammunition, armor, and medical supplies. Avoid bringing them on expeditions where resources will be limited. The VAT system has been replaced with a time dilation mechanic called bullet time. New traits are selectable every 4 levels, levels 5, 9, 13, 17, etc. New perks are selectable every 2 levels. Perks granted immediately by traits will become available upon reaching the next level. Survival tips for new players. Every special stat is important. Avoid setting any too low. Focus on 2 weapon skills at the beginning of your journey. Melee combat is powerful but dangerous. Ammunition is scarce, so choose weapons strategically and always carry backups. Take time to understand perk and trait effects before selecting them. The economy is harsh, caps are scarce, and items are expensive. Scavenge everything you can. Collect empty bottles for water storage. Food reduces hunger but provides minimal healing benefits. Chems and alcohol offer powerful temporary advantages, but addiction effects are severe. Examine crafting stations thoroughly. Many items have unexpected properties. You can find this information and more at uraniumfever.net. Have fun. Now that's the Uranium Fever FAQ. But there's another mod that we have, another optional, and that is going to change things up substantially, and I believe that'll be the next pop-up. Yep. Welcome to Uranium Fever Harder Core. Uranium Fever Harder Core is just that. A more difficult and hardcore addition to Uranium Fever. You can expect to find the following differences. 1 perk every 3 levels. No perks are gained after being humbled. First time travel between the wastelands until reaching your pre-humbled level. So a little bit of an explanation on that one. This mod includes this list includes the mod Benny humbles you and steals your stuff. Maybe also steals your truck. I can't remember. Basically, when you first travel from the capital wasteland over to the Mojave and you get shot in the head, it resets you back to level 1. You keep your perks. As far as I'm aware, you keep your perks that you have, but you're back to level 1 with skills and everything. And with the harder core list, it means that if we were to get there at level 30, if we were to finish everything in the Capital Wasteland and get to level 30, and then go to the Mojave, well, it would mean that we would have to get to level 30 in the Mojave before we can actually get perks again. So that'll be fun whenever we get there. Less skill points gained per level. Less special points to allocate when creating a character. Less traits can be selected when creating a character. So you know how it said traits were unlimited? Yeah, no, now traits are limited to, I think, 5. But I think Wild Wasteland is free. I don't know if I want to do Wild Wasteland, though. I think I will literally flip a coin for it and see. Harsher loot scarcity settings. Hardcore needs accumulation rate is doubled. Over-encumbrance has a much more dramatic impact on movement speed. Sleeping will restore a much smaller amount of health. Radiation resistance effects are reduced by 50% unanimously. Bottled water must be boiled in order to make it clean water. 1 follower can now be recruited at 5 permanent charisma, and 2 followers can be recruited at 10 charisma. I think it used to be that you could have... It was 1 for every 2 points, I think? I can't remember. Pip-Boy can now no longer be used in combat. Fast travel costs caps. This effect scales based on distance traveled. Time dilation is halved when using quick select menus. Weapon sway is increased when you don't meet the weapon requirements. Forced entry settings are more likely to break items and containers, and door locks have more health. The long haul perk has been completely disabled, meaning that players can no longer fast travel when over encumbered. And locks and terminals have a random chance to be a higher level. All these changes can be found at uraniumfever.net. Good luck out there. You may need it. Oh, I think we will. But it's okay, because I got my YouTube audience ready to back me up. That said, I don't think you guys can help me with what's coming next. Life after death. In pre-war America, dying was costly, and post-war America is no different. It might pay to be more cautious from here on out. Now dying will impart a small XP penalty. Reloading will incur progressive hardcore need and radiation penalties. These penalties are important for maintaining the balance in Uranium Fever. However, this mod can be disabled in the optionals setting separator in Mod Organizer 2. That's painful. But the nice thing is that it really won't have an effect. Not because I'm disabling it. Your life after death settings have turned on permadeath. Running out of lives will permanently kill this character. This setting cannot be turned off later. Are you sure? I'm sure. This is going to be interesting, because you can spend a perk point to get another life. But I only get 1 perk point every 3 levels. So this is going to be rough. Those hardcore changes are really going to make a difference. But it'll be fun. And hopefully we can make this series a long-going one with a character who doesn't die. I am sure. And with that, we have completed the intro to Uranium Fever. Sorry. So, with Uranium Fever, we have gotten everything set up. And so, when we start the next episode, we will be starting off at the beginning of Fallout 3. We get to see the intro, we get to see the character creation, and we will be... how do I put it? It'll be basically the entirety of the vault sequence in one episode. And we'll go from there. I appreciate if you watched this, and I want to hear your thoughts on the series. Let me know what you think of the whole hardcore permadeath aspect. And with that, I will see you in the next Morrowind episode, and then hopefully after that, we'll see you in the next Fallout episode, or in the first Fallout episode. Bye.